Cleaning Nation, welcome back to another super fantastic episode of the Grow My Cleaning Company podcast. As always, if you are serious about growing your cleaning company, taking it to the next level, and getting the time and money freedom that you've always wanted, that probably got you into this business, go to growmycleaningcompany.com and check out the video I just made for it. It's so funny. I was talking to our guest Hiram off air, and I was like, man, you got to go check out. Have you checked out the video? Because he said some stuff that made me think it'd be perfect for him. He's like, nope, I've been listening to the, mainlining your podcast like heroin for the last 2 weeks, but I didn't go do that. And I'm like, why does nobody listen to me? So Cleaning Nation, don't be Hiram, who we love. Go to growmycleaningcompany.com, check out the video. It's totally free. It's totally amazing. If you were sad, you can email me personally and say it was a waste of my time. I've never had that, but I get a ton of feedback that it is a game changer. So growmycleaningcompany.com, check it out. Today, as promised, we are chatting with Hiram Banda from Mop It Like It's Hot. This guy's been mopping it like it's hot for the lucky residents of Indianapolis, Indiana for just under a year. If you want to reach out to Hiram and his team, you can get a hold of them at www.mopitlikei'tshot.net. Apparently, some Yahoo in the UK got to the .com prior to our friend Hiram. Very sad. Hiram, welcome to the show. What is shaking my brand new friend?
Thanks for having me, Mike. We're at the point where we're really starting to get pretty busy. And I've been listening to another of your podcasts where it says if you're cleaning houses and essentially you're still working a job and you're not doing what you need to do to grow the company. So I'm in the growth phase right now where I plan on my last day of cleaning being this Friday. And
Love it.
I'm looking to add some folks to my crew, add another team. And I was wanting to know the best way to bring on a new team and to implement the work that I don't have yet until the work starts to come in.
Cool. Well, first and foremost, let me congratulate you. You may very well be the first guest that I've made fun of before they were even on the show. Most of the time I wait until you say something and then make fun like a rude jerk of a host, but you're the first one. You didn't even say a word and I made fun of you prior to, so well played on that one, my friend. There should be some sort of plaque in the mail. I'm sure there isn't, but there should be.
I'll be looking for that anytime you want to send it.
Start holding your breath right now. All right, beautiful. And again, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I think that's a great question. So the easiest, and there's a couple ways to look at it, but the first and foremost thing is I love that you are getting out of cleaning. If you were hiring one person and you've been cleaning, is it a dumb question to just assume or expect that you would give her the work that you're doing personally, or am I missing something?
No, they're getting all the work that we've been doing together. So I've been working with one girl for about 3 or 4 months, and the other young lady we have had on our team for about 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's been the three of you doing. Go ahead.
Yep. No, go ahead. Yeah, it's been the three of us working together, pretty solid. I've been getting them ready for me to phase out, letting them know what my expectations are, cleaning the way that my clients expect us to clean and what kind of service they've been getting so far. Actually, past couple days, so this past Friday and today, I've actually done no work, but been on the jobs with them to get them an idea of how it's going to be when I'm gone. And everything seems to be going pretty well.
Cool. So the two of them are able to do 100% of the cleaning you currently have without you already.
Yep.
All right. Well, first of all, kudos for actually, since I made fun of you prior to the show, I'll give you some love, for actually listening to the concepts and putting them in place. A lot of people would argue, oh, I don't know, we're not ready, we don't need people. And then when they try to grow, they don't have any people. And it's just that constant chicken and the egg of I can't hire people because I don't have any jobs, but I can't get any more jobs because I don't have any people. And that life sucks. So I'm glad that you just took the leap and hired someone. You found someone who was talented and you hired them. And now you're like, great, how do I get them to work? Is that fair?
Exactly.
Beautiful. So that is the right way to go, and I promise you I'm going to give you some tools and tactics to make that a soft landing. But even if I didn't, that's still a far, far, far better problem to have than not being able to grow and not having enough people. So even if we did nothing, you're still way better off than the alternative. That said, let's get you some tools to make it even easier. So first of all, how many hours do the two gals you have now, how many hours do they work without you currently?
Roughly 25 to 30.
Okay, so let's just call it 27 times 2. We're at 50. Oh, shoot. We'll call it 25 times 2 is 50 to 60. So we'll call it 55 hours total. Is that fair?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So the first thing I'd probably do is anytime I'm starting folks, I like starting them at like the first week or two when they're just learning 10 to 15 hours a week. They get overwhelmed easy. And then move them still after they've been with me a little while, still keeping that 15 to 20 hour range. Now everyone's going to say, oh, Mike, I need 40 hours, Hiram, I need 40 hours. I can't work, blah, 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 blah. The problem is when you give them 40 hours, they will get burnt out. They'll quit. If someone else quits and you have to do extra work, they're going to complain. So we always want people hungry for hours, not you begging for people to take hours because there's not enough slack. So right off the bat, I'd probably cut the gals that you've got down to like instead of 25 to 30, I'd cut them to 20 to 25. That's going to be 10 hours extra for the gal, which for her first couple weeks are just fine anyway. And again, remember, we are assuming that she shows up like she said she would. And I would say 50 to 70% actually do that, but 30 to 50% don't show up. And then, of course, another percentage aren't going to be there after a week or two because you find that they're not a fit or they find that they're not a fit. So always, let's never assume that everyone's going to do what they say they're going to do or you're going to be horribly disappointed. So strategy number one is kind of start diluting some of the folks' hours. And just as a strategy either way, even if you weren't trying to add people, I would start, I don't want to say cutting hours, but setting the expectations of, the first two weeks that you're here, you're only going to get 10 to 15 hours. The next 2 weeks might be 15 to 20, and you've got to earn your way up to more hours by showing up every time on time and getting nothing but positive response. Does that make sense for a kind of a first step?
Definitely does.
Cool.
Definitely does.
Second question is where are we at on lead attraction? Because obviously we can dilute the hours that we've got, which is great. Because again, if you have someone quit and your average person is doing 20 hours, it's not an emergency. If you have someone quit and your average person is doing 35 hours, it's an emergency. So diluting hours is a good strategy, whether you're trying to grow or not. The second thing, which is even more fun, is, well, let's get some more customers for you. So what's your lead flow look like on any given day in terms of leads, bids, sales given out? So far, and we're in September, so we're about halfway through September. How many leads or bids have you gotten so far?
Depending on how much work I'm trying to get in on any given day or what my schedule's looking like for the month, I can get anywhere from 5 to 15 leads a day. Not all my leads are good leads, right? And I'm okay with that. Not every customer that comes to me organically is going to purchase my service either.
Well, and that's go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I use Google Local Services and Home Advisor as two of my main sources of leads, and it seems to work out pretty well. I mean, I invested my fourth month into cleaning about $3,000 with Home Advisor, and we generated about $10,000 revenue. That's been my best month, though.
Okay, so a couple things. So first and foremost, I love that you're investing in client attraction. Second of all, we definitely want to track IBSBS is what we talk about in Clean Profit Method, inquiries, bids, sales by source. So we want to track so we know exactly how many inquiries, not how many we quote unquote could get, because until they happen, they haven't happened. How many leads, inquiries, bids, and sales we get every week by source. So when we look at, and you don't have to share these numbers, but I want you to have them. You want to say, September 1st through the 15th, we got 12 leads. Not how many leads you could have got, how many actually you got. And then you want to look at how many converted into bids, because you're absolutely right. Not every one of those is going to be a good prospect. Some of them you're going to disqualify right off the bat. Some of them are going to disqualify you right off the bat. But we want that data because say you get 15 leads and you get 2 bids. Well, we know that Home Advisor, wherever you got the source of those inquiries, is probably not a source that you want to continue investing in, or the messaging that you're doing in that source probably needs to be looked at because whatever you're saying is attracting the wrong caliber of person. And then works the other way, right? If you're like, I only got 3 bids, I only got 3 inquiries, but all 3 turned into sales, means you're probably being too specific in your call to action or who you're talking to, because you should get some people calling in that aren't a perfect fit. But until you track that data and you know exactly what the numbers are and you track it over weeks and months so you know what they should be, we're missing out. So that would be my first thing, is start tracking IBSBS, inquiries, bids, sales by source. And we are just, I hate to say it because I keep thinking we're close and it's not out yet, but we should have our bidding software, our tracking tool out any week. And we're going to beta test it to some of my clients first. So it'll probably be a couple weeks, maybe even October, November before you guys have access. But anyway, before that, still start tracking that stuff, at least using a spreadsheet or however you want to do it. Just make sure that you do it. So that would be the next thing, is start looking at the dials we have to dial up our inquiries and bids. So it sounds like now you've got 2 major ones. I'd like having 4 or 5. Just like we talk about with clients, I get nervous anytime more than one client, it represents more than 15, 15, not 50, 15% of my business. If I'm doing 10 grand a month and one of my clients is 2,500 and he represents 25% of my business, I don't sleep well at night, right? It's hard to scale down if I lose that client or if he demands a pay decrease or doesn't pay or just becomes a huge bear to work with and I don't want to use him anymore. All of those things are terrifying. If that person represents 15, 20, 30, 40% of my business. I feel the exact same way when it comes to lead sources, right? If my whole business is built on Facebook ads or Home Advisor or any, I'm not knocking or pitching any of those. I'm just saying one is the wrong number, right? So if it's just Home Advisor and Google services, that's 2, which is better than 1, but I would always be testing 2 or 3 new ones. So when we want more leads, we've got a plan. And if and when Home Advisor gets really expensive or the leads turn to crap or whatever the case may be, stuff's always, 10 years ago, we were using like Monster. Now it's all Indeed. 10 years from now, it'll be something else. Same with Facebook. 20 years ago, didn't even exist, right? 10 years from now, there might be something else. So we always want to be testing new and improved traffic sources. Does that make sense?
I do. It does. It totally makes sense.
Cool. So I guess the 2 big strategies I would give are first to dilute the work, which works when you have too much work and when you don't have enough work. We always want more, if we've got 100 hours of work, I'd rather have 10 people doing 10 hours a week than 3 people doing 30 hours a week. Or I didn't do that math right, but I'd rather have more people doing fewer hours than the reverse. That way, when you lose someone, it's just like we talked about. If you lose, the more people you have, the less devastating it is to lose one person, right? Technically, if you're like, hey, everyone right now, they're working 25, 30 hours a week. Well, you could technically just have one employee handle that if they work their tail off. But when that person quits, you're out of business, right? So just like moving from 1 to 2 is a help, moving from 2 to 3 dilutes that even further. So if someone does quit, you're fine because you know that they can actually do it with just the 2 people. So hopefully, I know it's a delicate question. Did I answer your question? Do you have any follow-up questions?
Yeah, I think you've done great. I definitely try to implement what I learned on the call tonight into my strategy over the next week to see if this can help me out.
Yeah. So long story short, just to recap for the folks at home, start by diluting your team. You want people to have as few hours as possible within reason. 5-10 hours is probably too few to actually make it worth having an employee. 10 to 15 when they're starting, 15 to 20 as they're going, and they can earn their way up. But I would, most folks won't, and they'll actually be happy just with a part-time gig. That's the first half. The second half is make sure you track your inquiries, bids, sales by source, IBSBS, and have dials that you can turn up. So when you do have extra talent, you, instead of stressing out or just, hire them out there trying to cold call or do whatever, you've got 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 lead sources that you can just put more money into and get leads at a profit. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Let's have me shush up for just 2 dang seconds and let Hiram share some of his experience in the last 10 months. We're going to hit the lightning round. I'm going to give you 3 quick questions. Hiram's going to give 3 amazing answers. As always, the lightning round is sponsored by growmycleaningcompany.com. If you like this, you will love that. Check it out now. I promise you there's stuff that you're going to discover and go, crap, I didn't even know there was this much good stuff on how to grow my cleaning company, growmycleaningcompany.com. That said, Hiram, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received, personally or professionally?
When I first started my business, my mentor told me, he said, until you get enough business to actually be working 10 hours a day, find 10 hours a day of things to be doing, whether it's shaking hands, introducing yourself as a small business owner to people that you meet, reading books about how to grow your business professionally and personally. Spend 10 hours a day on trying to become a better you.
Interesting. I like that. That's I don't know that I've had that feedback before, but I think I have to think on it. But as of now, I like it. All right. What's the biggest mistake? I know you're just 10 months in, but what's the biggest mistake you've made so we can all learn from each other?
Setting expectations of the client that were out of reach.
Okay.
Promising more than what we could actually do in the amount of time that was given.
That's a great way to get bit in the butt just about every time. And I'm glad that if you learn that and you're only 9-10 months in, that's fantastic. A lot of folks don't figure that out for years. So good on you for not only making that mistake, but identifying it right off the bat so you don't make it over and over again. All right. Like you talked about earlier, and I love the mentor saying, hey, let's invest in ourselves with getting better at what you do. Read, get better and smarter. What's the best book you've read personally or professionally that you can share and Clean Nation can jump in on?
One of my favorite books so far, I'm not a huge reader, but a book that's always stuck out to me and been big for me and growth personally, and I'm starting to use it in my professional life, is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That is a great book with an unfortunate title. I feel like the title and the book really don't match, and the title is kind of interesting, but it's so much bigger than that. And I've recommended that book 3 or 4 times, personally, professionally, in my personal life, and to you guys, Clean Nation. And I'm always bummed because it sounds like you're just looking to win friends that influence people, but it's really not. It's a lot more global. So I think it's a great book, and I couldn't agree more. All right, Hiram, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your passion, your desire to grow. I appreciate you. I know Clean Nation appreciates you. Cleaning Nation, if you want to check out Hiram's show notes page, all the details on that guy, the special video I just made for you, and everything by way of growing your cleaning company, it's all at growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now. I will see you there.
Congratulations! You are now 16% smarter. Still can't get enough cleaning goodness? Go to www.growmycleaningcompany.com for more of the good stuff. Ever want to be rich and famous? Owners of cleaning companies, as well as industry experts, can apply to be featured on the show by emailing our producer Natalie at support@growmycleaningcompany.com. Until then, don't miss out on all the latest cleaning industry lovin' at www.growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now.